Have you ever sat by the window on a quiet Sunday morning, sipping your coffee, flipping through photos of breathtaking places, Paris, Alaska, the Caribbean, and thought to yourself, this is what I want to do after retirement? Travel. Explore, see the world while I still can. For many seniors, traveling after 70 is not just a vacation. It's a dream, a reward after decades of hard work, a chance to finally see the places you've always talked about. Frank, my neighbor, is one of those dreamers. At 72, after retiring from his accounting job, he planned the trip of a lifetime with his wife, a 3-week journey across Europe. London, Paris, Rome, all the places they had once only seen in books. He was excited. They booked the flights, reserved charming little hotels, even mapped out local restaurants and museums. Frank would often say, smiling, "It's finally our turn." And it was until it wasn't. 2 days into their trip, while walking the beautiful cobblestone streets of Florence, Frank missed a curb. He fell hard, a fractured hip. Suddenly, instead of sipping espresso in a cozy cafe, he found himself in an unfamiliar hospital, dealing with language barriers, paperwork, and thousands of dollars in unexpected medical bills. The trip of his dreams had turned into a logistical nightmare. And sadly, Frank's story is not unique. Traveling after 70 can be deeply rewarding, but it also comes with hidden risks that most seniors never consider until it's too late. Not because they aren't smart, not because they aren't careful, but simply because no one ever told them what to watch out for. Health emergencies far from home, infections that are harder to fight off, travel fatigue that takes longer to recover from, dangerous falls, and yes, financial traps that can quietly drain your savings. These risks don't mean you should give up your dream of traveling. Far from it. They simply mean you need to travel wisely. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through the 8 hidden risks seniors face when traveling after 70, and more importantly, exactly how you can prepare for them. You'll learn the biggest mistakes to avoid, the simple safety habits that make all the difference, and the travel blueprint that allows you to explore confidently with peace of mind. Because after 70, you absolutely deserve to see the world, but you also deserve to do it safely. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and stay with me. The adventure is still waiting. Let's simply make sure you're ready for it. Number 1. The dream and the danger. Why traveling after 70 is both rewarding and risky. There's something magical about traveling after retirement. For decades, many of us worked long hours, raised families, paid bills, and quietly put aside our own dreams of adventure. And now, with the kids grown, the mortgage paid, and our calendars finally open, the world feels wide again, full of places we've longed to see. That's why for so many seniors, travel after 70 isn't just a hobby, it's a deeply personal reward. A second chance, a celebration of life. Take Barbara and her husband, Tom. At 71, they finally booked a long-awaited river cruise through Europe, something they had talked about for nearly 30 years. For weeks they planned every detail, the castles they'd visit, the quaint towns they'd stroll through, the local food they'd savor. Barbara told me, "I wanted to wake up on the ship, look out over the water and say, we made it." And for the most part they did. They explored grand palaces in Vienna, sampled pastries in Budapest, and danced under the stars on the ship's deck. But about halfway through the trip, Tom started to feel dizzy one morning. Nothing serious, they thought, maybe just tired. Later that afternoon, while walking down a steep gangplank, he stumbled. He didn't fall, thankfully, but it shook them. They realized for the first time that while their minds were still eager for adventure, their bodies had changed. This is the quiet balance many seniors face when traveling after 70. The joy of exploration remains as strong as ever. But the risks, the very real challenges of health, fatigue, mobility, and safety, become more present, even when we feel young at heart. It's not about fear, it's about awareness. You see, traveling at 30 and traveling at 70 are very different experiences. At 30, we recover quickly from jet lag, bounce back from long walking days, and rarely think twice about our health. At 70, even small things, a misstep, a new medication, an unfamiliar food, can snowball into major issues if we're not prepared. The small lesson here is simple. Your love for travel doesn't need to stop, but your approach to travel needs to evolve. With the right preparation, you can still create beautiful, unforgettable experiences, safely, comfortably, and confidently. In the next part, we'll dive into one of the biggest and most serious hidden risks. What happens when a medical emergency strikes far from home, and why minutes can make all the difference. Number 2. Risk 1. Medical emergencies far from home. When minutes matter. When we travel, we picture beautiful sights, new cultures, and relaxing moments. But very few of us ever imagine how quickly a health emergency can turn those dreams upside down, especially after 70. As we age, our bodies don't always respond the way they used to. A minor issue at home can become a major problem on the road. Let me share James' story. James, 74, was in great shape for his age. He stayed active, walked daily, and passed his last checkup with flying colors. So when he and his wife booked a Caribbean cruise to celebrate their anniversary, they had no concerns. 4 days into the cruise, after spending a warm afternoon by the pool, James started feeling a tight pain in his chest. At first, he thought it was simple heartburn from the rich buffet. But soon the pain spread to his arm and cold sweat beaded on his forehead. His wife, alarmed, rushed him to the ship's small medical center. Unfortunately, while the onboard doctors were kind, they lacked the equipment to properly diagnose or treat a potential heart attack. An emergency helicopter was called, but due to bad weather, it couldn't arrive for several hours. By the time James reached a hospital on land, precious hours had been lost. Thankfully, James survived, but instead of finishing his dream vacation, he spent the rest of the trip in recovery, followed by a staggering medical bill that exceeded $20,000. His story is not rare. Medical emergencies while traveling after 70 often involve heart attacks, strokes, deep vein thrombosis, DVT, from long flights or bus rides, complications from pre-existing conditions like diabetes or high blood pressure, accidents or medication mismanagement. Even small things can snowball. For example, flying exposes the body to lower oxygen levels and dry cabin air, which can strain the heart and lungs, especially in seniors with respiratory or cardiovascular issues. High-altitude destinations add another layer of stress, but perhaps the biggest challenge isn't the medical issue itself, it's where you are when it happens. At home, you know exactly who to call: your doctor, your hospital, your pharmacy. Abroad, it's not so simple. Not every country has modern medical facilities. Language barriers can make communication difficult. Your domestic health insurance may not cover international emergencies. Many seniors assume Medicare or private insurance will protect them while traveling. Sadly, most plans don't extend coverage outside the U.S. or offer only very limited support. The small lesson here is, hope for the best. Plan for the worst. Before traveling, schedule a full medical checkup. Bring extra medication and a printed list of prescriptions and medical history. Research hospitals near your destination. And most importantly, invest in comprehensive travel insurance that covers medical emergencies, hospital stays, and emergency evacuations. Because when minutes matter, being prepared can make all the difference between a safe recovery and a crisis. In the next part, we'll explore another hidden danger that often sneaks up on travelers after 70, the silent risk of infections and contaminants, and how weakened immunity changes everything. Number 3. Risk 2. Immune system vulnerability, the silent threat of infections. When we think about travel risks, most of us picture things like lost luggage or delayed flights. But for seniors, one of the most dangerous and most overlooked threats comes from something much smaller: invisible germs. As we get older, our immune systems naturally weaken, a process called immunosenescence. It doesn't mean we're sick, but it does mean that when we face new viruses, bacteria, or parasites, our bodies may not fight back as quickly or as strongly as they once did. For younger travelers, a mild stomach bug or a common cold might be an inconvenience. But for seniors, even simple infections can lead to serious complications, extended illnesses, hospitalizations, or delayed recoveries that overshadow the entire trip. Take Linda, for example. At 76, Linda finally fulfilled her lifelong dream of visiting Southeast Asia. She loved trying new foods and was eager to experience the colorful street markets she had seen so many times on TV. On her second day in Thailand, she enjoyed a fresh salad from a local food stall and sipped a delicious fruit juice filled with ice cubes. By the next morning, everything changed. Linda woke with severe stomach cramps, vomiting, and dehydration. Her son rushed her to a local clinic, where doctors diagnosed her with bacterial gastroenteritis, a serious stomach infection caused by contaminated food and water. Instead of touring temples and floating markets, Linda spent the next 4 days recovering in a foreign hospital bed, missing most of her carefully planned trip. Her story is all too common. When we travel, we expose ourselves to airborne illnesses like flu, pneumonia, and respiratory infections, especially on crowded planes and buses. Contaminated food or water that may contain unfamiliar bacteria or parasites. Surfaces in airports, hotels, and public transportation touched by hundreds of travelers daily. Even seemingly small exposures can become serious when the body's defenses are lower. The small lesson here is, traveling after 70 isn't just about avoiding danger. It's about giving your body every chance to stay strong. Before and during your trip, wear a high-quality mask in crowded places like airports or tourist sites. Wash your hands frequently and carry hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your face in public spaces. Stick to bottled or purified water, even when brushing your teeth. Skip ice cubes unless you're sure they're made from clean water. Be cautious with street food. Choose well-cooked, hot meals from reputable vendors. And always pack a small travel medical kit with anti-diarrheal medicine, probiotics, electrolyte packets, and basic antibiotics if approved by your doctor. A little caution goes a long way in protecting your health while traveling, allowing you to fully enjoy every moment. But physical illness isn't the only strain travel can place on the body after 70. In the next part, we'll explore something just as challenging, how travel fatigue and disrupted rest can quietly wear you down, and how to stay energized throughout your journey. Number 4. Risk 3. Fatigue, jet lag, and recovery challenges. When rest takes longer, there's something so exciting about the start of a trip. The energy, the anticipation, the joy of finally going somewhere you've always dreamed of. But as wonderful as traveling is, the simple truth is it can also be exhausting. Long flights, busy airports, early morning wake-up calls, unfamiliar hotel beds, packed sightseeing schedules. All these things take a toll on anyone. But for seniors over 70, that toll is often heavier and lasts longer. Unlike younger travelers who can bounce back after a short nap, older bodies simply need more time to recover. Prolonged exhaustion can quietly weaken your immune system, affect your balance, cloud your thinking, and increase your risk of illness or even injury. Let's take Richard's story. At 75, Richard had always dreamed of seeing Europe. He and his wife booked an ambitious 2-week tour covering 6 cities: London, Paris, Rome, Venice, Prague, and Amsterdam. They wanted to see everything. Every day was packed with tour, museums, historic sites, and train rides. But by the 3rd day, Richard felt worn out. His legs ached from walking on cobblestone streets, his back hurt from carrying luggage, and he struggled to stay focused during guided tour. Sleep didn't help. The time zone change made it hard to rest deeply. And when he finally caught a mild cold halfway through the trip, the fatigue made it linger for the rest of their journey. By the time Richard returned home, instead of feeling refreshed, He needed nearly a full month to fully recover. His experience isn't unusual. As we age, our bodies produce less melatonin, making sleep more fragile, especially in unfamiliar hotel beds or noisy cities. Jet lag affects us more intensely, disrupting our internal clock for longer periods. Walking long distances or standing for hours at museums can strain joints and muscles far quicker. And constant movement leaves little time for true rest and recovery. The small lesson here is, in your 70s and beyond, seeing everything isn't always the best goal, enjoying everything is. To protect your energy while traveling, choose a slower itinerary with more rest days between activities. Schedule flights and transfers at reasonable hours. Avoid very early mornings or late-night arrivals. Stay hydrated and eat nutritious meals to keep your energy stable. Book comfortable accommodations in quieter neighborhoods, away from heavy street noise. Wear supportive walking shoes to reduce joint strain. Allow yourself short afternoon naps to help adjust to new time zones. A well-paced trip doesn't mean you'll see less. It means you'll enjoy more. Because when you feel rested, present, and fully alive in the moment, that's when the best travel memories are made. But physical strain isn't the only risk as we age. Sometimes, one simple misstep can cause far greater harm than fatigue. In the next part, we'll explore one of the most serious travel risks for seniors: falls and injuries and how to prevent them before they happen. Number 5. Risk 4. Falls and mobility accidents, the one injury for senior travelers. There's something deeply comforting about familiar surroundings. The steady rail on your staircase, the even sidewalk you've walked 100 times, the well-lit hallway at home. We often take these small things for granted. But when you travel, everything changes. New cities bring uneven sidewalks, slippery hotel floors, steep staircases without handrails, dimly lit streets, and unfamiliar layouts that can quietly turn into hazards, especially for seniors. As we age, our balance isn't as sharp, our reflexes slow slightly, and even our vision may not adapt as quickly to changing light or terrain. What might have once been a harmless stumble in your 30s can now lead to serious injuries. Let me share Linda's story. At 78, Linda had always enjoyed daily walks around her neighborhood. She felt confident in her balance and was eager to explore the charming streets of Florence, Italy. One evening, after a beautiful dinner, she decided to take a leisurely stroll back to her hotel. The cobblestone streets were dimly lit and slightly uneven, but beautiful. As she stepped off a small curb she hadn't noticed, she lost her footing and fell hard onto the stones. Linda immediately felt a sharp pain in her hip. Passers-by helped her up, but she couldn't walk without assistance. An ambulance rushed her to the nearest hospital, where X-rays revealed a hip fracture. Linda underwent emergency surgery in a foreign country, cutting her dream vacation short. Her recovery lasted months after she returned home, and she was never quite as mobile again. Sadly, falls like Linda's are one of the most common and most serious injuries among senior travelers. According to studies, falls account for over 70% of injury-related hospitalizations for travelers over 65. Many cases of hip fractures, broken wrists, and head injuries. Long-term mobility loss, sometimes leading to permanent dependence. The risk grows even higher when combined with fatigue, unfamiliar surfaces, or rushing to keep up with a busy itinerary. The small lesson here is, when you travel, your feet are your foundation. Protect them carefully. Here's how. Choose travel destinations with good accessibility. Hotels with elevators, smooth walkways, and ramps. Wear sturdy, supportive shoes with non-slip soles. Avoid sandals or slippery soles, even in warm weather. Be mindful of your energy levels. Take breaks before fatigue affects your balance. Use a walking aid if needed. A lightweight collapsible cane or walking stick can provide extra stability. Stay in well-lit areas after dark. Avoid wandering through poorly lit streets or alleys at night. In bathrooms, Use anti-slip mats or request safety equipment from the hotel. One simple step, literally, can make the difference between a beautiful vacation and a long, painful recovery. But while injuries like falls can be physically damaging, there's another kind of risk that often hurts just as much: financial risks that many seniors never fully prepare for. In the next part, we'll explore how unexpected costs, insurance gaps, and travel scams can quietly drain your savings, and how to protect yourself before your trip even begins. Number 6. Risk 5. Financial traps most seniors overlook. When insurance fails you. When most people think about planning a trip, they budget for the big things: flights, hotels, tour, meals. But very few stop to think about the unexpected costs, the hidden financial risks that can turn a relaxing vacation into a costly disaster. For seniors, these financial traps are especially dangerous. Why? Because as we age, our health becomes less predictable. Trips are often booked months, even years in advance. And many seniors, understandably, assume their regular insurance will protect them no matter where they go. Unfortunately, that's rarely the case. Let's look at George's story. At 76, George had spent months planning a dream trip to a tropical island. He found what seemed like the perfect beachfront hotel through a beautiful website. The photos were stunning. The price was reasonable. The reviews were glowing. Wanting to secure the deal, George paid in full for a non-refundable one-week stay. But when he arrived, everything unraveled. The address led him to an empty, run-down building. The customer service number was disconnected. The website where he made the booking, it had disappeared. George was the victim of a sophisticated online travel scam. He not only lost his prepaid hotel cost, but had to scramble for last-minute accommodations, paying nearly double for a much smaller room. Sadly, George's experience isn't rare. Travel scams targeting seniors have increased sharply in recent years. Scammers know older travelers often trust friendly websites, helpful emails, or seemingly professional listings. But scams aren't the only financial danger. Medical costs abroad can be even more devastating. Many seniors believe Medicare will cover medical emergencies overseas. In reality, Medicare provides almost no international coverage. Some supplemental plans may offer partial coverage, but often fall far short of covering hospital stays, surgeries, or emergency evacuations. Consider these real-world costs: a hospital stay abroad, $5,000 to $20,000 depending on the country; an air ambulance evacuation back home, $50,000 to $200,000 depending on distance and care level. Even simple procedures like stitches, broken bones, or antibiotics can cost thousands without coverage. And if illness, injury, or a family emergency forces you to cancel your trip last minute, many travel companies won't offer full refunds. Non-refundable flights, cruise deposits, guided tour, all could become sunk costs overnight. The small lesson here is, when you travel after 70, protecting your health is important, but protecting your finances is equally critical. Before any trip, invest in comprehensive travel insurance that covers medical emergencies, hospital stays, medical evacuations, trip cancellations and interruptions, lost luggage and personal belongings. Double-check your existing health insurance to know exactly what is and isn't covered internationally. Book only through trusted sources, reputable travel agencies, well-known booking platforms, or directly through airline and hotel websites. Use credit cards with strong fraud protection and limit cash withdrawals to avoid ATM scams. Stay skeptical of deals that seem too good to be true, because often they are. A little financial preparation now can save you from a mountain of stress later. But financial risks aren't the only unseen challenge many seniors face while traveling. Sometimes it's the emotional side of travel, the anxiety, the confusion, and the moments of loneliness in unfamiliar places that catch us most off guard. In the next part, we'll explore the hidden emotional and cognitive challenges seniors face abroad, and how to stay confident and calm no matter where your journey takes you. Number 7. Risk 6. Emotional and cognitive challenges. Anxiety, confusion, and loneliness abroad. When we imagine travel risks, we often focus on the physical, health issues, falls, medical bills. But there's another layer many seniors quietly face when traveling, one that's far less visible, yet just as real: the emotional strain of being far from home. For decades, you've built routines, familiar surroundings, a known neighborhood, comfort in knowing exactly where everything is. But when you step into a new country, suddenly, signs are in another language, customs feel unfamiliar, the faces around you are strangers, and small problems feel bigger because you're so far from home. Let me share Susan's story. At 80, Susan had always wanted to see Paris. With the help of her children, she carefully planned her trip. Her flight arrived smoothly, but when she landed at Charles de Gaulle Airport, everything changed. The terminal was massive, the signs were all in French, and the announcements were difficult to understand. Her phone's translation app stopped working because of poor Wi-Fi. The taxi line was confusing, and the driver spoke very little English. Suddenly, the excitement she had felt for months was replaced by anxiety. She felt disoriented, unsure who to trust, and very much alone, even in a crowd. Susan made it safely to her hotel, but the emotional toll left her feeling tense and uneasy for the first few days. Sadly, this emotional strain is common for many seniors traveling abroad. Cognitive fatigue from navigating unfamiliar transportation systems. Anxiety over miscommunication or getting lost. Fear of scams or being taken advantage of. A lingering sense of isolation without familiar faces around. Even for mentally sharp seniors, the cognitive load of travel is heavier than many expect. And for those with early-stage memory challenges or mild cognitive impairment, these pressures can quickly become overwhelming. The small lesson here is, travel is not just about where you go, it's about how supported and prepared you feel while you're there. Here's how to protect your emotional well-being while traveling. Travel with a trusted companion whenever possible. Having someone by your side brings confidence. Use technology wisely. Download offline maps, translation apps, and emergency contact info in advance. Write down hotel addresses and key phrases in the local language. Stick to guided tour or senior-friendly travel groups that offer structure and support. Have daily check-ins with family back home to ease feelings of distance. Allow extra time for transitions. Avoid rushing through airports or public transit systems. A calm mind allows you to fully enjoy the beauty around you without unnecessary worry. Because ultimately, travel after 70 should fill your heart with joy, not anxiety. Now that we've explored the physical, financial, and emotional risks, let's pull everything together into one simple, practical plan. In the final section, I'll walk you through a complete safety blueprint. 12 steps to help you travel confidently, comfortably, and safely after 70. Number 8. The Complete Safety Blueprint, 12 Steps for Confident Senior Travel. By now, you've seen the full picture. The health risks, the infections, the fatigue, the falls, the financial traps, the emotional strain. It can sound overwhelming. And that's exactly why so many seniors either avoid travel entirely or step into it unprepared. But here's the truth. You absolutely can travel safely after 70. The secret isn't to avoid travel. The secret is to travel smart. That's why I want to leave you with something practical, something you can print out, review, and take with you. The 12-step safety blueprint for senior travelers. 1. Get a full medical checkup before you go. Talk to your doctor about your trip's demands. Altitude, climate, physical activity. Adjust medications if needed, and discuss any pre-existing conditions. 2. Pack extra medications and medical documents. Bring at least 1 week's extra supply of all prescriptions. Carry a printed list of your medications, dosages, allergies, and medical history, preferably translated if traveling abroad. 3. Purchase comprehensive travel insurance. Choose a plan that covers medical emergencies, hospital stays, emergency evacuations, trip cancellations, lost luggage. Don't rely on Medicare alone. 4. Choose a realistic, slower itinerary. Build and rest days. Avoid overly tight schedules or too many destinations in a short time. 5. Book safe and accessible accommodations. Choose hotels with elevators, ramps, well-lit hallways, and non-slip bathrooms. 6. Use trusted booking sources only. Book through reputable agencies or official websites. Avoid deals that seem too good to be true. 7. Prepare for mobility and fall prevention. Wear sturdy, supportive shoes. Bring a lightweight cane if balance is an issue. Avoid walking at night in poorly lit areas. 8. Stay hydrated and eat wisely. Drink only bottled or purified water. Avoid raw or undercooked foods. Carry electrolyte packets for quick hydration. 9. Protect against infections. Wear a high-quality mask in crowded areas. Wash hands regularly and carry sanitizer. Avoid touching your face after public transport. 10. Use technology to stay oriented. Download offline maps and translation apps. Save emergency contacts and embassy numbers in your phone. 11. Stay financially protected. Use credit cards with fraud protection. Limit cash withdrawals and use secure ATMs. Notify your bank before international travel. 12. Stay emotionally connected. Schedule daily check-ins with family or friends back home. Share your itinerary with a trusted loved one. When you follow this blueprint, you're not just protecting yourself, you're giving yourself the freedom to fully enjoy every moment of your journey. Think of it like this: preparation doesn't take away the adventure, it protects it. Because whether you're sipping coffee at a Paris cafe, cruising through Alaskan glaciers, or walking along the beaches of Hawaii, you deserve to do it with confidence, comfort, and peace of mind. Now, as we close, I want to leave you with one simple truth. Travel after 70 isn't about rushing to see it all. It's about savoring the experience, fully present, fully safe, fully alive. As we get older, many people assume that life begins to slow down, that adventures belong to the younger years, and that safety means staying home. But you and I know better. Because at 70, 75, 80, life still holds so many beautiful places waiting to be seen, moments waiting to be experienced, stories waiting to be written. You've worked hard to reach this chapter. You've earned the right to explore it fully, not with fear but with wisdom. Today, we've talked about the real risks, the health concerns, the infections, the fatigue, the falls, the financial traps, the emotional challenges. But we've also talked about the solutions, about simple, practical steps you can take to stay safe, stay healthy, and stay confident. Because preparation is not the opposite of adventure, it's what makes adventure possible. So as you plan your next trip, whether it's across the country or across the ocean, I hope you'll carry these lessons with you. Travel thoughtfully, travel wisely, travel fully, and most of all, don't stop exploring. Because the world is still out there, and it still has so much to offer you. Before you go, I would love to hear from you. What was the most valuable tip you learned today? Have you ever faced any unexpected challenges while traveling? Please share your story in the comments below. Your experience may help someone else. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more helpful guides, and share it with a friend or family member who may be planning their own trip soon. Here on our channel, you're never too old to learn, and you're never traveling alone. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay curious, and until next time, happy travels.